Welcome, wonderful people. I am the Loose Critic, and today I am giving you my loose impressions of Jack Move. Created by So Romantic, this is their first entry into the storytelling world. They have quite a few 2D games before this, but this is the first one that is a JRPG-inspired cyberpunk title. It's got all of the classic JRPG random encounters, turn-based combat, ultimate moves, the works, the whole shebang from your nostalgia years. Let's take a look at the settings to start with. You got your music volumes and your SFX sliders. You have toggles for the repeating sound effects, for low health, all of that, which is appreciated. They have VSync, resolution, all of the expected stuff. Screen shake you can turn on and off. Perfect Jack Move, this is a quality of life for your ultimate, which is a QTE event where you can just have it always be perfect if you so choose to not be skilled and be bad. No, it's a good accessibility option. Let's go ahead and hop into it. I've spent about, let's see here, an hour I think so far into the game. The game feels pretty short. I feel like I've already unlocked a lot of the things that I would normally expect to be later. Like these are the hardware expansion shots. These let you add little mini upgrades to your character. You start with one, and there was only 2 available on the screen, and I have already unlocked both of those. So that feels a little fast. You put things like buffs to your stats. Yeah, I have this that increases my defense, which increases my RAM, which I'll get into that, and then this which increases my software defense, which is it's essentially your magic defense in this game. Magic is not magic, it's cyberpunkified, so it's all the digital references, which is why like patch, execute, hardware, software. Patch is just using your items. Execute is the term for playing in action. It's essentially casting a spell. Software, these are your skills or spells, however you want to frame it as. You have a total of, it looks like, what was it, 13? Oh, 1, 5, 9, 13, yeah. So these all cost, hold on, let me uninstall V. One of my biggest complaints is the game is only manageable with the keyboard. There's no mouse control at all. It's totally restricted to gamepad or using WSD, ZX, C, Enter, V, arrow keys, anything on the keyboard. But let's just take all of these out. So you have all of these slots that you can use to fill with your available software. So if I go ahead and select software, it won't let me. I'm pressing Z, I'm pressing Enter. Why is it not letting me install software? Huh. That's dangerous. Is it because I'm in a combat area? Hold on, let me go back. I feel like that shouldn't have anything to do with it. I must just be brain farting. Yeah, and you can revisit the tutorials for each screen at any time. You can remove and install software V, which I did. So why will it not let me install software? Huh. Well, I'm gonna be lazy and I'm just going to reload because that is strange. Okay, let's see if that fixed this. Software, there we go. Yep, I reloaded and I was able to re-add stuff, so that's just an interesting bug. So yeah, you can see each of these on the right side that says that they take 2 of your RAM blocks. You initially start with just 3 or 4, and I have since unlocked a bit more using hardware upgrades, so I could use all of these basic equipment. And these software are essentially, they're like materia from Final Fantasy VII. If you played that JRPG, it's very similar. You can see each of these have a level with an XP bar, and as you use them, they level up more and more. There are more advanced versions of them that you can purchase from the stores that have some additional effects and stuff, but we'll get into that here shortly once we go into combat. I need to actually go back down in this lift. It's very linear. There has been one side quest that I've stumbled across by accident that didn't really give any meaningful rewards. It was like a couple of items. In the top right, you can see the threat level. This is the bar that as I move, you see it fills up, and when that's full, that's when you have the chance to start getting random encounters. So if I just keep moving around, and it is a JRPG, so there's a ton of text. The entire story is told through text windows, classic JRPG. The story so far is your dad is being abducted for some weird shenanigans. You don't have a close relationship with your dad, but you've been dragged into it because they broke into your house and attacked you. This is the combat. Stylized. Looks gorgeous. Sound is really good. Cash, this is kind of a Bravely Default move where you can defend yourself, and then in the top right you can see the turn order. This turn gets pushed back to the next time you would take a turn. So you can perform 2 attacks at once, or heal, or do whatever you want, while taking less damage until then. Jack move, this is the ultimate move, which I'll show off in a future combat. So install, you can so choose if you need to uninstall and install different software in the middle of combat. You can patch, which is using your items. Execute, these are to use your abilities. So, and this is kind of a rock, paper, scissors style where you can see in the top there it says that Cyberware is strong against Electroware type enemies. Green's good against blue, blue's good against purple, purple's good against green. So these are yellow, so these are just normal enemies that don't have any special critical hits when you use any of these abilities. Hack, this is just your normal attack action. I'm not sure why it's called a hack. You literally just throw a fist. You just punch people. It's not really a hack. If you had like an axe or something, I would you know, give it the benefit of the doubt that you're hacking away at them. So if you don't like random encounters, you can press the escape button here and you can change the encounter rate to the point where you have no encounters, you have reduced encounters, you have the encounters that they intend you to have, or you have extra encounters. The game does warn you if you lower this that you will likely be underleveled when it comes to boss fights, but what I think is really neat about this is it lets you, if you find an area where you're having a good, like you want to grind, you can turn this up to the increased encounter rate, grind that out, and then just turn it off as you want to progress through the story or explore around. I do think that this opens up for a little bit of exploitation because you can turn it off if you want and walk around without actually worrying about encountering anybody if you're like low health. There are stations in the game that you can come across that will heal you to full, so you could turn it on to max, walk in circles around that and keep healing, and then turn it off once you're done grinding. It's on one hand, I feel like it kind of is a little immersion breaking of the JRPG element of it, where, you know, you have to be careful about using your items and strategizing as you go through a dungeon. But to each their own. It's a good accessibility feature, but it removes some of the challenge, the fact that it's always there. I think that it would be better if you could only adjust it, oh, I don't know, when you're out of combat or something, but it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole game. I'll show you the Jack move here. Got a couple of neat enemies, and so typically the enemies, whatever type they are, there's the color associated with them. So if I look at that purple guy, I bet you that he is going to be wetware, so I'm going to want to use, what was it, short circuit against him. Oh no, he's just yellow. No, I'm talking out my ass. Huh, that didn't true up to this point where all of the blue enemies were Electroware types. So that's an interesting change, but let's go ahead and just use the Jack move. So I'll show you what I mean by this being a QTE. It's like a little DDR down here. And I'm assuming there are other Jack moves later that have different keyboard inputs that you have to do. But it's typically a one-shot, unless you're fighting a boss. I fought, I think, one boss so far as a part of the tutorial intro. Normally I don't make these reviews so early in the process of playing a game, but this game feels like it's already introduced everything there is outside of story, and I don't want to get too deep into the story and spoil too much for all of you. The characters and the artwork and the animations are all gorgeous. It's a very beautiful pixel game. And the personalities for the characters and the NPCs are all on point. There's a lot of cyberpunk slang thrown in. It feels very immersive in the world. And you can see that guy hacking that console, his arms are just going flying everywhere. It's neat. Should you buy it? There's not a whole bunch of uniqueness to it. It's kind of a classic JRPG. with a self-contained story. I read a few reviews on the Steam forums. It seems like it's about an 8-hour game, so, you know. Jak Move's available for $19.99 on Steam for 8 hours. I think that I'll probably wait for a sale. It's a bit expensive for a short game. Again, that's just my impressions from what I've read. I'm only an hour in. I can't confirm that it's that short. But the fact that I've already unlocked all of my hardware slots kind of leads me to believe that, yeah, it's going to be a shorter run, and it's using the JRPG format just to tell a story, not necessarily be an enjoyable game. If you like JRPGs and you like that combat, the turn-based combat system, then, you know, you're going to have fun with it. But otherwise, it is a mediocre game. I'm not attached to it. I'm probably not going to revisit it once I finish this video up. Thank you for watching. I've been the Loose Critic. If you enjoyed this video, you can show your support by hitting the like or subscribe buttons below, and if you didn't, you can hit that dislike button. Trust me, my feeling will be hurt. I'll see you next time.